Well, let's try this one more time. Yes, brother, and I'm not a little bit upset. Yes, I am. I'm a little upset. This is not what I anticipated. Excuse me. Anyway, let's get back to our subject, shall we? Testimony of our conscience in simplicity and godly sincerity, not with fleshly wisdom. More abundantly to youward. So what I'm getting at here is that fleshly wisdom is contrasted with simplicity. If you see something that's not very simple, but something that's very ceremonial, very formal, know this, that it is not part of that simplicity that the Apostle Paul was talking about there to the Corinthians. When he said all things should be done decently and in order, he was not talking about a form or a ceremony, and certainly not a liturgy to be used. Where's the freedom? If you're bound by a liturgy, where's the freedom? The freedom that's in Christ Jesus, where is it? Well, it's not in your meeting. If you can only do things a certain way, this is what bothers me sometimes about people talking about marriage and whether or not uh, the church, as they call it, whether, does a minister have anything to do with the wedding ceremony? If you can show me any minister in the New Testament marrying a couple, well, I concede I might be wrong. Right now, I say the church has nothing to do with it. And when a minister performs a wedding ceremony, he is acting as an agent of the state, not as an agent of God. He's acting as an agent of the state. And those people have paid their tax to the state. Therefore, they are prepared to surrender their rights to the state. That's just one ceremony. It is one that's been brought into the churches and should never have been. Have you ever read in church history any of the things written by and about the old Anabaptists and Waldenses said they didn't believe in marriage? It's because they didn't believe it was a priest's right, that the priest had the sole right to marry people. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. The clergy, even in this country, where episcopacy was established, charged money or tobacco to marry you, to make it legal. Since they were the state church, they had the right to do it. No, you can read the old things about the Anabaptists, the Waldenses, even the particular and general Baptists, particularly the general Baptists. Well, they don't believe in marriage. They just believe in getting together because they didn't believe that the church had any right to create a sacrament called marriage and a ceremony for it. Brother, if it was up to the church, if it was up to a minister of the gospel to marry someone, don't you think the formula would be in that book? Don't you think it'd be somewhere in the New Testament? If we were to gather around a person who the church had chosen to be a deacon and slap our hands on his head and go through a rite, a ceremony, don't you think that if it's something that was required by the Word of God for the edification of the saints and the glory of the church, that the formula for the how to do it would be right there in the book? Same way for the appointment of a minister, yet we find none of it. We got our rules. Oh yeah, you got to have 2 ministers at least to perform to be a presbytery to ordain somebody. Why'd Paul then tell Titus ordain elders in every city? Not in every church, city. Free yourself of ceremonies. Those of you that go to association meetings, look at them. Was at an association meeting? They had 2 churches. Each church had 2 members. Took them an hour to go through their business. Maybe more than an hour. I know I was getting antsy sitting through it because they went through everything. Boom, 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 right down the line, dot, dot, dot. I mean, tell you right now, it was awful. Had to have motion in a second for everything. Nowhere in the New Testament do we find churches making a motion, making a second, taking a vote. They just decided. Unanimity, being in one mind. That's simplicity. If you've got 10 members, you got 10 minds, that's not simplicity. If you got 10 members and every one of them are acting according to the mind of Christ, that's simplicity. Simplicity does not mean easy. Simplicity does not mean dumbed down, if you will. Simplicity means agreement. Indeed. One translation of it could be singleness, unity. That's what's simple. The church acts in unity. Not with a formality. What am I telling you? Throw Robert's rules out the window? Yes. You're not bound by Robert's rules of order. You claim to be people of the New Testament. Use it to govern your way. Oh, excuse me. Simplicity, formalism, ceremonies, liturgy. Cast out the bondwoman, because all of those things genders to bondage. Stand fast in the liberty wherewith Christ has made you free. Well, if we start doing stuff like that, that church down there, it's in the Upper Lost Fork Association, and they would cut us off if we did that. Good enough for them and you. Trust me, you're not the loser for it. I'm telling you, brethren, if we go back to the biblical principles, I believe we'll see turnaround in the churches. And I don't mean by that that's going to be the means of increasing our numbers. It's all about increased numbers. It's about being the people of the way. It's about being those whom the Lord has marked out to be his representatives in the kingdom on this earth. Well, had to do that, brethren. Had to get back to you on this. Let me tell you something. I got me here from the Free Library of Guilford, Connecticut. I got me about 20 documents, 21 maybe, relating to Elder A.B. Goldsmith, Philo. Lord willing, I'm going to go through them this afternoon and see what we got. Excuse me. Ain't nobody watching. So ain't no need for me to say anything else. Brethren, we'll see if the Lord wills tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see you as the Lord gives us